Yar and all that talk. Right! Friday! Q&A. Fan mail. Lovely. News. What news? Not a whole lot of news. Some of you may have noticed that I haven't uploaded at all earlier this week, and that was because my internet was out. There was a fire on Sunday down the street, and it took out the phone line and knocked out the internet to my entire street. I got it fixed, obviously, since this video is going out. But as a result, I've got nothing filmed and uploaded. My motivation is going out the window. Gotta work on that. Gotta work on it. I miss people. I mean, I was already a hermit. The plague has made me just a complete hermit. I don't like it. Anyway. That was the uploads. Stay tuned. Hopefully, I'm really hoping this weekend I will finally have the video out on the mini cap project. I have all of the stuff for it, all of the mini crew and stuff and all of that, and I think we've got it all organized, and so I'll be putting out the video on how that is going to work, and we'll start getting those shipped around the world, and shenanigans shall ensue, since me and the crew don't get to travel around the world this year. So we'll send them instead. Should be fun. Stay tuned for that. Now, for the questions. Liam Jensen, how many hammer shots do you have? You know, I have no idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 16, 17, 18, 19, at least 20. At least 20. That I know of. Sawyer Cobersmith. That's a cool name. Do you still do SCA? If not, why not? I've never actually done SCA. I've attended a few events and I've gone to like a practice or two, but I've never actually a member. I was a group of what was called the Empire of Adria, which was a group that broke away from the SCA like 30 years ago, which fought with steel weapons rather than rattan weapons. But no, I don't do medieval recreation very often anymore. The crew kind of drifted away from that due to, well, frankly, there was no one left to fight. We'd kind of achieved everything there was to achieve. We'd won the Imperial Seal of Excellence 2 years running. We could take on the combined armies of the entire Pacific Northwest and win. Yeah, we all kind of, between various things, a lot of our members grew up, got married, moved away. And then there was kind of what we considered to be a fairly egregious act of betrayal by some of our who we thought were our closest allies. And we kind of lost interest, unfortunately. I'd love to get back into it again. I know there were active groups in this area once upon a time, and I would like to look into it and see if events are still being held and where and when, and maybe start showing up. We shall see. Obviously not now, there's a plague going on, but after that. And then his second question is, what is your gaming setup? My current gaming computer is a Dell Precision 7600, which is just a sexy piece of hardware in many, many respects. It needs a better video card, but I don't play a lot of games that are really very video card intense, like, you know, most first-person shooters and stuff like that. Elite Dangerous doesn't require a lot of graphics, because mostly it's just space. But I do need a slightly better video card. But what's far more impressive than that is, of course, the input setup that I have, where I've built a custom chair that has a flight stick joystick combination, as well as a second pair of joysticks. And then a button panel over here, a button panel over here, a keyboard that swings out, and then 2 sets of pedals. I've got a dictation pedal with 3 pedals, and then I've got a throttle brake pedal, and all of that allows me to very, very efficiently and easily control my ship, because I have all of the various axes, all of my thrusters, all of that all mapped, as well as all the buttons mapped. I also use it when I play mech games. I like mech games. Some of them I can handle, others make me motion sick, but generally any game where you'd normally have, you know, a controller with 2 joysticks, 2 little thumbsticks, I have 2 full joysticks that not only give me all the functionality of 2 little thumb joysticks, they also have a plethora of buttons on them. And then I have foot pedals, so I have even more options. So, yeah, that's what I've got set up. And of course a mouse. Bradley Tulloch. How can I join the crew auxiliary? Well, the only requirement to join the crew auxiliary is to want to join, so you kind of already did. But in the video description, in the description of all my videos, there's a link to our Discord and our Facebook if you want to get involved. Second question, what is your opinion on Nerf throwing spears? Well, somebody just sent me a javelin, and that was pretty neat. They're not very efficient for Nerf. They take up a lot of space, and once you've thrown them, it's very easy for your opponent to pick them up and throw them right back. They're also going to be slow and easy to dodge. Now, if your group makes them shield piercing, that might be a fairly useful aspect for them. But again, the downside is, once you throw it, now your opponent has your shield buster. So I think it's a neat idea. The crew definitely had a lot of javelins back when we did Medieval Recreation, just because having a couple of thrown weapons on every single one of your combatants was just a little extra advantage. Just before the shield walls would meet, everyone would hurl a javelin, and while the opponents were covering themselves with their shields, we'd pull our swords and charge in. It worked. The fact that our pole armors always had javelins, so that if the opportunity arose and they weren't engaged with the pole arm, they could huck a javelin at someone who wasn't looking. Same thing with throwing axes. We'd have thrown axes on our belts that we could hurl at people. And they were just never quite ready for that level of combined arms of just missile weapons coming from everywhere. It was the deciding factor in a number of wars. So I like the concept if you can figure out how to make it more efficient. Daniel Lindsay. What is your preferred root beer for making floats? Well, Sprecher is just my favorite root beer all around. I really like a Sprecher float. But for general common use, since I can't get Sprecher easily, A&W is definitely, in my opinion, the best for making root beer floats, just because of the mellow flavor of A&W pairs very, very well with vanilla. And so it still makes the best. And that's not surprising, since A&W, you know, one of their big things from their restaurants is the root beer float. So it's not surprising that they've tailored their root beer to match that vanilla flavor. Barks, on the other hand, in my opinion, makes the best root beer shakes. If you're going to blend it, the little extra bite that Barks have, I think, really makes a shake come out better. Sidewinder Llama. If there was to be an animated series based on the crew's exploits, which professional voice actor would you want to voice Captain Xavier, and why? Mark Hamill, obviously, because Mark Hamill. Luke Thomas. I have anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 Legos where I live. How much would that be worth if sold in bulk? Last I checked, which was about 10 minutes ago, the bulk rate for Lego, just by the pound, is between $9 and $15. That seems to be the going rate. It kind of depends on the quality of the parts, the kind of parts, the density. I mean, if it's all big parts, that's one thing. Obviously, parting it out and selling it individually is a lot more lucrative, but a lot more time-consuming. So some parts are obviously worth a lot more. The large parts tend to be worth more than, obviously, the little parts. Minifigs are obviously a premium, but in general, somewhere between $9 and $10 or $9 and $15 per pound is what you can generally expect to get from just bulk. Austin Black. If you could pick a walker from Star Wars, one from the Empire and one from the Republic, what would they be? Well, the AT-AT from the Empire, just because it's classic and iconic. And then from the Republic, I would go with the AT-RT, the little recon one, because it's spry and fast and neat, and it'd be something you could take to the grocery store to get, you know, milk. It would be hilarious. Zach Leak. Have you tried the Skittles that have no color? Yes, I've got a couple of bags of them. I think they were sent to me from the UK. Which is your favorite location for Nerf Wars? The forts that we've gone to. Flagler, Warden, the Fort Columbia. I've never been to Fort Casey, and I haven't been to the other fort that's on the Columbia. I don't remember what the other one is. The Columbia. Obviously, Fort Columbia is on the Columbia. There's one on the other side in Oregon, and I don't remember which one that is. But those are just so much fun because of the tunnels and the bunkers and the cave, or not really caves, but the trenches and all of that. They're just fun locations. Carter Long. Do you know what birch beer is? Yes. Rockbound. What is your favorite ice cream for root beer floats? Well, vanilla in general. If you're looking for a particular brand, I don't have a particular brand, but just regular vanilla. I don't like vanilla bean because then you end up with little black floaties. French vanilla is okay, but general just regular vanilla. A good smooth, creamy one, obviously one that will melt well, one that isn't too like ice chunks in it. I've had some unpleasant ones, but just vanilla. Ha! Well, I hit the stand. Something. All right. Rab Bar MC. Is there a way to make a flywheel Chronos in the cheapest way possible? Now you could duct tape a flywheel cage to the front of a Chronos. It's not going to work very well, but I mean, it'd be cheap. The Tribunal of the Imagination. Are you, or have you ever been, a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? This is the first time I have ever even heard of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Bond. Cadwell. Do you know of SCP? And if so, what is your favorite one? Yes, I am familiar with the Secure Copy Protocol, but I agree with OpenSSH, which believe that it's now deprecated. There are better protocols now. Even WinSCP doesn't actually use SCP anymore. It actually defaults to SFTP. For SFTP, I think the last one that I actually used for anything was FileZilla, and I don't remember when or where I was using it. Probably college. Yeah, I don't do a lot of large file transfers. All the stuff that I do for work is on a secured network already, so it's just a direct transfer. Yeah. Yes, I'm aware that's not what you meant, but you didn't specify, so I get to pick which acronym I'm going to go with. And I went with the computer nerd one, because I'm a nerd. Optimus Voltron. Can you play top-down games like Diablo 3? I have no idea. I've never played Diablo 3, but I was able to play Diablo 1 and 2 and loved them. They were awesome. Yeah, those types, when it's that separated from the character, I can. If it's first person, no. Second person, no. Where you're behind the person, like World of Warcraft. Oh, Lord, no. That's actually worse. But top-down games, I absolutely can. And I enjoy them. People keep telling me I should, because of that, I should try the Valve's of Vault, Fallout, the Fallout series, but I've never played the Fallout series. Generally, I play top-down strategy games like Age of Empires or Civilization or any of those empire building or base building games. Stronghold was one of my favorites, going all the way back to Fantasy Empires in the 80s and 90s. Yeah. A smit. What is your favorite Nerf event and why? Of the big ones that I've been to, it would be it'd be a toss-up between Ragnar Oktoberfest and West vs. Zombies because they're very different. End War is just a big HVZ, and I've been to lots of HVZs, and End War wasn't anything particularly special, honestly. The fact that there were a lot of, a huge number of people, but they ended up breaking you into small groups, so it ended up not being that much bigger than any of the ones I'd been to before. But West vs. Zombies does have a very different take on the whole humans versus zombies concept, in that you're not in large groups all working towards the same mission. You're instead dozens of small groups going after dozens of mini missions, little silly missions that are, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half-hour missions, instead of the big hour-long missions that they have on the big ones like End War or the other big HVZs. And you earn prizes. You get tickets, or there are sometimes just direct prizes for it, but generally you're earning tickets that you can then enter into raffles, or just buy stuff. Flywheel cages, upgrade kits, springs, motors. They get a huge number of stuff donated, and that you can then buy for tickets. And the best part is, getting tagged doesn't mean, if you get tagged and become a zombie, that doesn't mean you can't get tickets anymore. Zombies are given the exact same kinds of silly missions. Plus they get tickets, I believe, for tagging humans. So you're still in the running for all of the prizes. You can still earn all of the cool stuff. And that made it really, really cool. It also made it very, very scalable, because if you had 500 people, you break them into 50 10-person groups and send them out on their missions. If you have 50 people, you put them in 5 10-person groups and you send them all over the place. It worked. It scaled very, very nicely, and it meant that you could play as little or as much as you wanted, and could get as little or as much out of it as you wanted. Missing one, mission that lasted 15 minutes is a lot different than missing one of the 4-hour-long missions in a game. So I really like that. Ragnar Oktoberfest is then different because it's not just HVZ, it's HVHVHVZ. It's 3 teams of humans competing as in a standard Nerf war, trying to eliminate each other and capture points and prizes and all of that. And then there is also a zombie apocalypse going on in the middle of all of that. And it culminates in a big mass battle, either with all of the humans united, or the last one, they weren't united. And that made for a much more interesting game, I felt. So those 2 are the best ones that I've been to. The first Ragnar Oktoberfest that I went to was probably one of the most enjoyable events I've ever been to. The final stand was just epic on a scale I had never been in before, and that was pretty cool. Uber Gamer 01. Would a judge cylinder shotgun absolver, like all 30 darts at once, be possible? There's a space station in space. We can launch rockets out of our atmosphere, so asking whether it's possible to fire 30 darts at once is kind of silly. Yes, we definitely have the technology to do that. Would it be easy and would it be portable? No. A Titan tank maxes out at about 5 darts. A Drain Blaster maxes out at about 9 darts. Trying to fire 30, you're going to need a massive reservoir to get any kind of useful range out of it. You're talking about draining an entire paintball tank at once, kind of releasing all of the air at once, and that would be difficult. Or you'd need multiple tanks that are all firing at once and then each go to separate cylinders. It's not going to be easy. You're not just going to be able to hook it up to a Drain Blaster and have it work. It's going to be a lot more work than that. But given that, the Mythbusters did where they fired, I think, 1,100 paintballs at once, but they had 4 enormous tanks. The thing was, the size of a truck. So it's not going to be easy or efficient, but it is obviously possible, given that we have, spaceships and robots that can do backflips and stuff like that. So, yes, possible. Yes, feasible. No. Clay Jump Train snuck in on me while I was talking. How dare it? Clay Jones. Does a swordfish fit in your holsters? I don't know. Yes. It's a little snug. Just because it's not missing that section, which this was designed to hold a strife, and it's a little bit different shape. But it can. I wouldn't, but it can. Good question. Karis Asani. I wonder if you're going to reverse engineer the Panther shotgun now that your friend Walcom has it and possibly make a Mark II. No. Lacrimus 1983. I was born in 1983. My favorite hat is my coonskin cap. Do you like all hats, and is there a hat you don't have? I'm generally a fan of silly hats, yes, and I actually don't currently have a coonskin hat. I used to, back in my youth, because I grew up in Minnesota, so we did a lot of the rendezvous, boundary waters stuff, and so naturally I had a coonskin cap. Used to have a cowboy hat with a rattlesnake skin hatband. I killed the rattlesnake myself. No idea what happened to that hat. Shame. Hayden Nielsen. Who's your favorite clone trooper? Captain Rex. Because he's a captain. And he's got an X in his name. Ha ha! Ha ha! Direct hit. Alright. Not a whole lot of loot, but that is okay because it looks like quality stuff. Let's take a look. Right. Well, we have one letter and 2 packages. There's also one big package, but that got opened in the Lego room, which we'll get to in a little bit. But we will start with the letter from R. Stevens. He wrote it on fake money. I love it. You are the $100. I have no idea what that says. I think that says animal. And train, I think. Flip. Cap X Xavier, maybe? You are the $100. I was expecting a question. I don't know what's going on here, but I love it. I'm keeping this. It's going with the other ones. One small Lego grate part. A dart with no head. And a Vowberry. No, that's actually, I don't know what that is. It's fairly squishy. It's weird. It's weird, sir. But I like it. R. Stevens, I never complain about getting Lego, so that's going in the Lego room. Put it in a TIE fighter. Very cool. What? Alright, now for the back collar. What do we have here? It appears to be a thing. Yes. Yes. Definitely a thing. Ew. Some sort of a thing. More thing. Oh, yeah. So this popped up on the auxiliary board recently and was just about the coolest thing ever. And now there's even more of it. Very cool. I like all of those. So apparently that stuff will be available through Franz Foamworks. I will do a separate video on it as well. We'll actually show what the site picture looks like and all of that. But that is pretty nifty, Sir M. Lanyon. All right. Let's go do the one in the Lego room. It was a big one. It was cool. Here we go. Right, I'm opening this one in the Lego room because pretty sure it's full of happiness. So this comes to me from a Daniel Dillman. I'm sure he and I spoke and he mentioned he was sending this. At least I hope so. Because this package is huge. And hopefully there's a note. Let's find out. I'm in. Note! Give it to me. Give me the... Hello, Captain. It has been about 4 months since I sent you that letter of non-existent anthrax. I'm glad about that. Sorry for the wait. Didn't message you back till recently. I should have made the time even with the plague. Bone-chilling music. Dun dun dun. However, over the past few months, I've eyed your Vintage Blaster Collection Google Doc and rummaged eBay, Goodwill Online, Facebook Marketplace for said items. A couple of items and a wheeled and dealing where I could. Is there anything you want/need for one of your K26 episodes or mod? I really do enjoy hunting for stuff you're looking for. On a separate note, I'm interested in what you think about Christianity philosophical questions. I hope you realize that while I love it that you read my letter on your channel last time, I didn't expect you to. You have every right to respectfully decline answering any of the questions, as they are personal. Well, even if they aren't personal. How do you explain the... I don't know how much of that I will decide to leave in, but we will find out. You know, questions that no one debates about. If you ever want to talk about it, I will try to respond more promptly. I'd love to discuss it with you. D. Anyways, I hope everything arrived intact. You have yourself an awesome day. Longtime fan, second time letter/box, Daniel Dillman, native Wisconsinite, Halo fan, Sprecher drinker, etc. P.S. Again, your videos are the very best kind of stuff, so don't get burnt out. P.S.S. I haven't played with Lego since I was a kid and found it exponentially relaxing to sift through the tote I had and color coordinate them. Ah, well, alright. That was a long bit of questioning. Let us see what on earth is in here. Well, starting off, we have the Hercules, which I did not have. So you've already successfully sent me an excellent blaster for the K26ing. Well done, Mr. Dillman. What? 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 I did not know this was a thing, sir. What year is this from? 83? I don't have anything from 83. In package, sir? Oh, you have outdone yourself, sir. I'm gonna have to expand my older section now. I thought I was just only gonna have the Nerf ball. Now I have the Super Ball, the ball, 2 of the planes, the foam disc, this thing. I ordered something else from that era. Good Lord, sir. Sir. Ugh. We have a Titan. You can never have too many Titans. So I brought this up here because I thought it was all Lego. Turns out I was wrong, and I'm going to have to take stuff back down. There is Lego in here, do not worry. Aha! With the rocket in good condition. One fin needs a little bit, 2 fins need a little bit of work, but it's got the head nice and straight. Very well done, sir. Ooh, I did not have one of these. It is bigger than I thought it was. Nice. Nice. Very cool. Not a protective device. Use away from breakable objects. Sweet. What do we got? What do we got? Man, that is just classic old bulk. Alright. Oh! Ooh, he found the wrist flyers. I think I have one of these already. Now I have 2, which means I don't have to feel bad about possibly doing stuff with one of them. Alright, what do we got? What do we got? Yes. Grab all of the Lego out of here first so I get the big box out of the way so I can deal with whatever that is. Is that? That's Tycho. Okay, that's why it looks different. What a red. Oh man, good stuff. Lord have mercy. Alright, have I gotten everything? Alright. Move into a smaller box. What do we got here? Sounds like more Lego. Also appears to be more Nerf. Quite some newer Lego. Nope. Oh, got some minis. Any good ones? Oh, just. Yep. Couple of neat ones. Oh man, there's some old stuff in there. Old wheels, newer wheels. What is that? That's some old Lego figures there, man. Good stuff. Alright, what do we have here? We have an in-package Rip Rocket. This is one I have been lacking. And now I have it. Well, that is awesome. In package, too. And also, apparently, an in-package detonator. Somebody recently sent me a not in-package detonator, so that is even cooler. that pretty much, I think that now completes 1993 for me, which was the least complete year for the longest time. Now I think I've got them all. Half of them in package. That is amazing. Alright, let's take a look at all this Lego. What is that? Is that a wheel? Is that tread? I don't even know. So he has got it sorted. This is old Lego. This is both the coloration as well as just some of the shapes, because some of them are they changed styles, like the way the back of the pegs are is different now than it used to be, and you can tell from the old stuff. Plus the existence of these really old minis, which I do actually have a couple of these. I don't know where, but I know I have a few. Some old Technic stuff, old windows, old doors. I like that. That's actually one of the red doors that I was missing from the Yellow Castle. There does not appear to be a Yellow Castle in here. There's no. What is that? It's weird. This is all non-Lego. This is Tyco. Looks like it's mostly Tyco. Tyco had some parts that do not exist in Lego, and I saw one that I've used for a number of stuff in the past. That. I think Lego might have something similar to this now, maybe? It allows you to connect bricks face to face, stud to stud. Basically, it's a reverse rail adapter of sorts. The downside, well, it's not really a downside. It again allows things that don't exist in Lego. Lego's plates, their thinner plates, are 1/3 the height of a full brick, whereas Tyco's are half. So this is a half of a brick thick rather than a third, which allows you to do some interesting things as well. So that is pretty cool. Tyco was always one of the better quality off-brand, in my opinion. They're one that I don't have a whole lot of issue just fitting them in with the rest of the bricks, because the quality is good enough. I used to have a Tyco tank, so I've got a lot of OD green bricks from that as a result that I don't get the occasion to use. More red, 2 whole bags of red. Red was a common color. Not nearly as, usually black is the most common color, but no, I guess there are 2 bags of it here. Yeah. Good stuff. That is some old Lego. That is very, very, very cool. That looks like newer stuff. Interesting. Yeah. Some big wheels. Interesting. Very interesting. There's one Stormtrooper rifle in with all the rest of this vintage minifix. I don't think I've ever seen a blue shovel before. That's neat. Very cool. Old train conductor torsos, but mostly just solid color torsos. Oh, and then one suit. Nope, Animatic. Good stuff. Just another amazing package. Again, you people keep raising the bar on how awesome you can be and how amazing stuff you can send. That is really cool. All right, back to the shop. That was neat. Good stuff. So much cool stuff. Yes, I redacted the questions. They are deep philosophical questions. I actually did answer them. I filmed the answers and then decided that's just going to cause a storm in the comment section, and I just don't want to do it. I try to avoid that kind of stuff in my comments as much as possible. But if you would like to talk about it, I would be perfectly happy to discuss my philosophies. Alright, this comes to me from Poland, and it is something that I actually bought because it was entirely too cool, and I wanted one. It's not that. Oh, full foam. Full foam. It's in a bag. And it is... Oh yes. Oh yes. This is a blaster. Oh, that is way cooler than I expected it to be. I think yeah. So the hammer actually does work, or it does in fact move. And then it primes right there. It is basically just a jolt. And yeah, you load it with a ramrod. And yeah, that's coming with me from now on. I will find a way to integrate this into all of my loadouts just so that I can have this as essentially my suicide jolt will now be a flintlock. I want to see how well it shoots. Look, a dart. Not great, but it's not meant to be a performance blaster. It's meant to be a gorgeous, gorgeous cosmetic build. I wonder if it looks like it's screwed together. I might actually be able to take it apart and upgrade that spring. I'm not sure I would want to, but yeah, that's gorgeous. That is every bit as pretty as I wanted it to be. I asked for it in silver and a dark brown, and he definitely came through. Oh, that is so pretty. That is so cool. Excellent. Excellent. Alright, well, that is it for this week. Thank you all so much for the nifty stuff for review, stuff that is awesome, fake money, and of course the box in the Lego room full of so much cool stuff. You can never have too many Titan rockets. If you want to have your question answered, you ask it in a comment on this video, and those are the ones that I pull next time. I pull the first 20, so get in early. If you want to mail me stuff, mailing address is down in the description. Join the auxiliary, links are in the description, all of that jazz. Like, comment, describe, you know how it works. Alright, enough faff out of me. Thank you all, and thank you for watching.